Hi friends, and welcome to Hits and Pits with Ebola Cherries. I'm Ebola Cherries, serving you the hits and the pits from RuPaul's Drag Race around the world. It's your new favorite recap show, and if it's not, get with it. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so first of all, let's just get it over with. I'm Spanky Jackson again this week. Can you even believe? Look at, oh, Spanky Jackson, finale. Pretty dress. Okay, oh, my boobs. Oh, my big boobs. Ooh. Okay, so what we're covering today is we have Drag Race Philippines episode 6, which was the Snatch Game plus Untucked. Mama, oh! Then what we have is Drag Race Down Under finale, and what I'm going to be talking about is the Meet the Queens for UK season 4. Here we go. We're getting right into it. Starting right off. Jumping into Philippines episode 6. So as the ladies come back into the workroom, they're all really sad to see Lady Morgana go home. Venus Deluxe is crying, saying that she really found somebody that she could bond with. She's gonna miss her. So it's kind of like, again, a lot of tears for safe, mama. A lot of tears for safe. Brigadine now says she has a fire under her. They talk about how she's kind of the most popular coming into this, and it's clear that she's getting jammed. You know what I mean? They're breaking her down to see how she's gonna handle, you know, not being like the chosen one right from the jump. And Minty Fresh is not impressed, mama. Oh my God, she's like, oh, Brigadine is still here. Oh, I live for it. Like in the first couple minutes of the episode, she's already like over Brigadine still being there. So Marina wins the challenge, and they're all sitting there giving her flowers, giving her props. And then Silhouette comes in with, you know, she's just over it. She can't believe she didn't win. And this was her kind of competition, and this was her thing to win. And, you know, I gotta say it. I think last week I said the wrong thing the last time. It's not Silhouette's partner. She was talking about her ex, Kevin Ballett. We'll get to that in a second. Her ex, Kevin Ballett. But she says this pageant, it was like, it was hers to win and the thing and the whatever. So she's like, I don't know what else I can do. So Ru comes in with the Ru mail, and then she says this famous Filipino actress's quote, and they're all gagged. And then Pau comes in, and in her boy outfit, I'm sorry, mama, I've got to give this a pit. I know that we're just like trying to be fashion. It's fashion. It's fashion. It's fashion. It's fashion. But like, come on, mama, no, Mama Pau, that ain't it, Mama Pau. No, Mama Pau. So Mama Pau comes in, and she tells us that it's going to be the Snatch Game with the runway being Ru-velation. It's going to be a reveal. It's a revelation. So she gets to going around talking to all the girls about what their Snatch Game picks are. You know, doing that thing where you kind of break them down. We like this, we like that. We're hearing what people have to say. As the girls are getting ready, they're each bringing up each other's picks and what do they think the strengths and weaknesses are going to be, who's going to do well, who's not. So then we jump into the Snatch Game, and our guests today are, first we have Joji Jing Kong. They say he's a manager to the stars and life of the party. So you have this big personality that is very connected to the entertainment business. And the girls are commenting that like maybe somebody's gonna get picked up, you know, from if they stand out in the Snatch Game. And then we have, ooh, my Instagram boyfriend, John Santos, is on the panel to be one of the guest stars for the Snatch Game. They say that he spoofed everyone with his comedy, and he's just a comedy legend, so he's the one to be here to play with the girls today. All right, so going into the Snatch Game, what I did was this is a long episode, right? We're getting that like full length tea on these episodes. I heard somebody say, you know, why are these episodes so long? But I live for it because it gives us a little bit of more of, we can see what's really going on. We can see like what jokes are landing and who's keeping the energy up over time. So it kind of helped me having a little bit more clips of the Snatch Game to kind of get how everybody was doing, because I wasn't sure that I knew the personalities that people were playing going into it at first. But as the game went on, you could kind of tell these jokes are landing, these people are really landing, and then these other ones are maybe not landing so much. So I really appreciated the length of it and kind of the detail that the gals were all getting into. So what I did was break it down by who is playing what. So just starting and just going on the order of how they were on the panel, starting with Brigadine. Brigadine is playing Jaya's mother, who she did from the original Filipino music challenge. She's doing Jaya's mother, Elizabeth Ramsey. And at one point, Marina comments that she's just dry, girl. She's dry. And what I wrote down is, where's the jokes? She's not quite doing jokes. She's talking about the pandemic is scary, and in the Philippines, it's extra scary. She's just very literal, very, as Marina says, dry, kind of like your vagina, mama. So yeah, it seems like she's having a little bit of trouble landing her jokes. And then at one point she gets up and is doing this crazy walk and she's like flashing her crotch, and the judges are kind of like, okay. And then as it goes on, it's kind of clear that she's bombing. She talks about that it's not really working out for her and all that. So we can kind of see that just based on the reactions. Whew, all right, having fun. Here we go. All right, so Eva La Queen is playing Rufame Quinto, also known as Quinto Rufame, who is a comedic actress in the Philippines. It seems like she's really uninhibited as this character. Like she kind of, go. She has some catchphrases that she says. She has a little bit of, vocal patterns that are different than hers. So it seems like she has like a strong connect to the jokes that she's playing, and she just seems really free in it. She doesn't seem too stiff. She just seems like she's having a fun time, and it seems like she's being really well received. So then one of her answers that she gives is Tampalpuke, which kind of had a big moment on Twitter. People were talking about it, and it's like the little blowfish that she said, the little Ariel's friend, like flounder. And then they ended up building off of the Tampalpuke later. So she had a joke that the other queens ended up using and building upon. So I felt like she had an energy that allowed other people to kind of pick up and run with the joke as well. So I thought Eva La Queen did great in the Snatch Game. Right, so Marina Summers played the former president, Gloria Magapagal Arroyo, and they call her, what is it? Her initials, GMA. They say later, you have these GMA jokes, you have this political humor. She had stuff sprinkled in. So she had references that were historical. She had references that were, just jokes, like making fun of, she's like corrupt. She ran fake elections, and so she had all these different kind of jokes playing out. Then as time went on, she kind of did this flip where she's doing these like hand motions, and she's kind of saying this like, swaggy talk. She's kind of saying like she's the best, she's the GOAT or whatever. And then she kind of expressed it later as she's saying Gen Z stuff. But I just want to point out that a lot of the stuff she's saying was coming from like, African American vernacular English, coming from Abe. So it's just like, is it Gen Z stuff, or is Gen Z getting stuff from, Black America? Like, I just think that, is it Gen Z stuff, or is everybody copying Black aesthetics? Do you know what I'm saying? It's hard to call it stuff Gen Z stuff, I don't know. What do y'all think? Comment below. So Minty Fresh is playing Maria Sophia Love, who is this kind of controversial trans influencer and personality. The other girls are kind of talking about how much she's bombing, and it seems like she's there's once or twice where she gives an answer and she's kind of like, like she's kind of laughing, and it seems like she's breaking character a little bit. So to me, for me personally, in general, it's a pit. It's a pit in the Snatch Game for me, mama. Just no jokes, kind of just, it wasn't a volley. It wasn't a back and forth of entertainment, It's a pit. Precious Paula Nicole plays Madame Charo's son. Precious Paula Nicole plays Madame Charo Santos Conchao, who is this lady that she's running one of the longest shows on TV. She's the longest host of a drama anthology on TV. Basically, she reads letters and she reads them really quiet. So Precious Paula Nicole is playing with this, oh, she's just saying this crazy stuff and she's, saying it quietly and saying it very demure. And then as time goes on, she has this famous mole that's on her cheek, and then she has like a little jar of moles and she's giving them out to everybody. And she has this moment with John Santos later where he's like, oh, give me one. So she throws him one and he has it, and he has it on his hand. So she has this cute moment, this back and forth with John on the panel where she's handing out moles to everyone. So she came prepped with prop jokes. She had a really good characterization. I thought overall she did great. It's a hit for me. I don't know if I'm saying hits or pits every time. I'm still getting used to how I'm doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just looking amazing, hanging out at home, talking to a camera. So Venus Deluxe plays Queen of Media, Chris Aquino. And then halfway through, she changes into Boy Abunda. So she changes in the middle, and so it seems like she starts out really strong. She's kind of getting people laughing. She's high energy. She's got that voice, that she's got that that really great character voice going on. But as she's going along, you can kind of see it with John, who is there to respond. John starts he's like, huh? What? He's kind of looking at her like sideways. He's like what's happening here? So as it goes on, it just seems like she's kind of, she's losing it in louder, faster, funnier. She's just starts screaming. She's like, ah! And then at one point, she's really pressing against Silhouette, and who is her drag mom, you know what I mean? So it seems like she's yelling, she's shouting, and she's kind of going back and forth against Silhouette. And then Silhouette in her boy confessionals is like, oh, you want to come for me, bitch? So she starts doing jokes that are throwing Venus under the bus. She ends up calling her tasteless, and they all completely crack up. But it's it's that sense of yes and. Are you playing with your competitors, or are you trying to outshine them by taking the attention away in that way? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, she ends up bombing, and especially when she comes out as Boy Abunda, all the other gals are like, what is even happening? What is she even doing? And it seems like she kind of realizes that she's lost control of it, and she's just like, no, move on. She keeps trying to deflect the attention away from her, because I think that she has understood that at this point it's not happening for her, So then Silhouette plays celebrity doctor, Dr. Vicky Bello, and she starts out kind of maybe she's asleep, and then she's awake, but you can't really tell because her face doesn't move, and then she's making these jokes about, is her face making the expression? Is she winking? She's got this kind of characterization, and the other girls comment that Dr. Vicky Bello doesn't really say, right, but Silhouette is using it comedically as the characterization that she's kind of putting forward in the game. She's answering the questions, she's volleying, she has witty answers coming back and forth. She has stuff to say from the other girls, and she's really cracking the judges up. It seems like if you can make John laugh, that's the, oh my God. It seems like if you can make John laugh, that seems to be that's the goal you want to go for in this Snatch Game, it looks like to me. And as they go along, the judges and everybody starts leaning in. They're really anticipating her coming up and her jokes. And it just seems like she's really in command of what's going on. She's really in her element. Venus is coming for her. She's putting her down. It's great. It's a great performance on Snatch Game. Yeah, as they go on, John Santos is really the one that's telling me how everybody's doing. He's so expressive. There's this moment where somebody's doing good, and he's just he's almost doing their face with them. He's just really invested in how they're doing, really laughing when it's funny, really, telling us how everyone's doing, So there's this volley where it goes from Venus, and then John says something in response, and he's like, no. And then it goes to Silhouette, and she says something, and then John cracks up. So there's this volley where it's back and forth with Venus, John, Silhouette, John. And John's like, no, that's not funny. But then when Silhouette does it, he's losing his shit and cracking up. So funny. So the winner of the Snatch Game, Pau announces, is the Filipino people for voting wisely. Good job. So then we get into the runway, and the runway is Ru-velation. They're supposed to come out in one outfit and leave in another. So starting up, we have Brigadine. Brigadine comes out with this red feather moment that's kind of surrounding her and framing her torso and her face. And then she comes out and it flips down into this gown. It's a simple gown with like shoulder straps, but it's stoned. And then it goes from this black gradient down into these red feathers with these gloves. I think she looks great. She talks about how she made it herself. I think it's like a simple garment, but it's effective in the framing of her in the beginning, and then having a different silhouette at the end. They kind of clock her for being simple, but I enjoyed it. It's a hit. So then Marina Summers comes out in this little asymmetrical off one shoulder and a kind of slit up high on one side, like dance costume. She's kind of giving a little salsa or something. And then as she is going on, she puts the shoulder, it flaps down into this gold dress with these like black veins almost. For me, the silhouette doesn't really change that much. It goes from an off the shoulder to an asymmetrical dress that's dark to an off the shoulder asymmetrical dress, same side, but it's just a little bit different of fabric. So to me, it's very simple that it comes down, but it doesn't change the look of the garment at all. So for me, it's not cool. It's cool that it goes from, you know, the dark to the more shiny, but it just doesn't change enough to be a different garment for me. So for that reason, it's a hit this week. Minty Fresh comes out as a fashion egg. She's tying around her rosary, and after she gets it, this fashion egg comes down, and it's a big, she has laces strapped up her boots, right? But then as this comes down, it folds into these layers of fabric. It's a bustle that comes down in the back. It's got this big embellishment. She's like swooping it out to the sides and flaring it in the back. I really enjoy the second part of this look, but the fashion egg moment to me is not it at the beginning. So the fashion egg is a hit, but the second look is a hit. But for this reason, it's not, what am I gonna say? I'm on the fence. It does reveal, but I don't like the fashion egg. I'm just gonna say fashion egg is a hit, second dress is a hit. So the reveal itself we like, but the first thing is not, it doesn't make sense. It's just a fashion egg. I don't like it. Precious Paula Nicole comes out in her Pokemon inspired outfit. At first she comes out, she's an Eevee. She has big hair with little cat ears in there. And then she has animal prints with a skirt that's swooped up on both sides and then like a big fur around the shoulders. And then she puts the fur down, the top of the skirt comes off, and then she puts the wig off and she's got these long red braids. It's a red gown that's asymmetrical on one side. This is a really simple look, but for me, it's effective because we're taking one look or one silhouette, and then we're going to a different look or a different silhouette. So there's enough change in the garment itself that for me it sells it as a Ru-velation. You know what I mean? It's a different look into a different look. And they both make sense on their own. You know? It's a hit. All right, then Venus Deluxe comes out with this big giant black wig on, and then it's a rainbow dress with this like sparkly silver, it's like scales, and then on the sides of the hips it's this tulle that kind of accentuates the hips. So she's going from like rainbow trout, and then she puts that off, and she's got a blonde wig with this apron that was stashed inside of her thing. She whips the apron around, and it's this blue and green dress. So the looks are really simple, but we really are going from one different look into a totally different look. And they clock her for looking cheap or whatever. And it's an apron. It's just like fabric that's draped around. But I thought it was a really cool and simple way to get that whole look changed into a different thing, because it really is a different vibe. So maybe they said it was cheap or whatever, but to me it was a hit because we're going from one total look into one total different look, and that's the challenge, you know? Silhouette comes out as Tina Turner. She's got the updo going on. She got this cool like fringe that is coming in V's and in A's. that is making sense. She's got this cool fringe dress. Then she flops that down, and it's a bare off the shoulders, red gown reaching down to the floor. And she's got her hair pulled up in back with some sticks. And then she takes the sticks out, takes the dress off, and it's a black mini skirt underneath with a little, black and tan, black and white details on it. So she does not only one Ru-velation, but 2 different Ru-velations, 3 looks, all different hair, different style, different whatever. It's a hit for me. She killed it. Eva Queen comes out with a big rainbow updo, and she has like purple rainbowy shoes on, all in a big white, opulent kind of shouldery, like it looks like a jacket. She flings that back. It's a gown. It's off the shoulders, and then she pops these balloons, and it's like a Jackson Pollock type splatter painting all over her, and she's now a rainbow color goddess. She looks great. That's a great concept. I really enjoyed it. It's a hit. The girls all come out, and only precious Paula Nicole is safe. Paula says that she's disappointed in the runway. She's underwhelmed with all the girls' looks. They're kind of shocked, and they send precious Paula Nicole backstage for Untucked. Silhouette wins the Snatch Game and the Ru-velation Runway. She wins 80,000 pesos from Kumu and a Ru badge. So it ends up being Minty Fresh, Brigadine, and Venus Deluxe in the bottom. Venus is safe, and she cries again. It's a lot of tears for safe. She's, a lot of tears for safe, mama. So, Brigadine and Minty Fresh lip sync to Amo Capoeira by Meme and Tratat. So I thought this was an awesome lip sync. I thought they both had really cool energy. Minty Fresh was a little more cool, and Brigadine was a little more, outgoing or rhythmically forceful. They both attacked really strong. Minty Fresh kind of held ground in the center, and she was giving really sustained kind of like looks over here, looks over there, da-da-da-da. Like we were able to kind of see her intensity. And then Brigadine was giving like kind of dancing. She didn't need to try to cross in front. She was going behind, she was going over here. She had like a cool rhythm going on. I thought Brigadine had a little bit more specific when it came to the physical choreography and stuff. And I felt like Minty Fresh was playing with the movement on the vocals, like on the words and the singing. And then I feel like Brigadine was playing a little bit more on the beat. So it was cool, different musical interpretation styles that they were each kind of channeling. So it ends up being that Minty Fresh is declared Shantae, she stays. And then they're asking Brigadine, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? And Brigadine's like, I feel like shit. She fully jammed. She's like, no, this isn't it. Ah. And they're like, you stay too. And she's like, fuck you guys. So that was pretty funny, just fully flipping off the panel and the judges and all of them. So then in Untucked, precious Paula Nicole is just hanging out, and then she ends up, she's working the camera, she's, filming the workroom, and then she's sitting there talking about, she didn't necessarily have enough money to come to this, and then her sister helped her send her money to get her some outfits together. And it ended up not being enough, but she had to kind of still figure out a package in a way. So it's just a moment to connect with precious Paula Nicole and really see how, people come up with a lot of stuff and a lot of different looks and a lot of different things without necessarily like a support system, you know what I mean? Or a guarantee that they're gonna win money on this show, So then the girls all come back in and they're all talking about the events. And Marina talks about how Brigadine is one of the most sought after artists in the Philippines. And Brigadine is like, she's like, I just thought that it would be different. She's kind of breaking down a little bit. So her dynamic coming into this competition as being like the famous one. And then she's been safe. Then she was in the bottom. So her kind of going like, I don't know what I need to give. She's humbling herself before the girls a little bit. She's crying. The girls are like, whoa, I haven't seen this side of you. And they're kind of talking about all that different stuff. So Minty Fresh's nanny videos in, see her sister and her family a little bit. And she's just kind of blown away by that. We get a little bit more of her backstory. And so this is where I was mistaken. Last week I thought they were talking about Silhouette's partner, current partner, Mr. Jimenez, pops into a video with their dog Third and Silhouette is, crying because she's seeing her man. And then as they're getting ready for the lip sync, Minty Fresh goes outside to smoke and is sitting there getting hyped up by Silhouette. And there's this sign in the back that says no smoking. It's Minty Fresh. Is just good times, golden oldies. So anyways, great episode this week. Blammo. All right, now we're gonna be talking about the Drag Race Down Under finale. Woo-woo. All right, so coming back in from Molly's elimination, they are all loopy. They're going nuts. They're laughing hysterically. They're freaking out. It's that type of fun TV we like to watch. It's that, like, it's the end of summer youth theater camp and we're all losing our shit. And then, interestingly, they start to play a bunch of clips from this season. This is like a clip show. It's the retrospective. So the first couple minutes of the episode is looking back on different stuff that had happened throughout the season. RuPaul comes in the morning and announces that they're gonna be doing choreography and original verses and lyrics to Who Is She? They say they're gonna do choreo sessions with the baddest bitch in all the land or whatever to freak the girls out. And then they're gonna be having tea with RuPaul and Michelle. So they listen to the beat, and as they're sitting around coming up with lyrics, Hannah says that Spanky's really charming, but that Queen Kong is the real competition. And then Queen Kong says, I'm not worried about these bitches. So that's like a theme throughout the episode. They're all like giving props to each other and being like, no, she's the real threat. No, she's the real threat. No, she's the real threat. It's just really funny to me. So Delta Goodrum ends up calling in on the Samsung flip phone, baby. Okay, and they sit there and talk about lyrics. They share their lyrics with her and she's like, yeah, work, slay, hunty, diva. So they break up into groups. Hannah starts painting up the Cupids while Queen Kong goes in for interviews. So Queen Kong has been talking about finding her place in competition, and we really got to see that in the last episode with the family makeover, where she's in her element, kind of, this stuff that she's been talking about, being a maternal figure, being a drag mom, all this type of thing, with the makeover challenge. So now she goes into talk with Ru and Michelle, and I just noticed that she's like sitting up straight. She's like, yes, of course, yes, of course, for sure. Like just very, I don't know what, very stiff. And as that's happening, Hannah and Spanky are design challenging the Cupids, and they're sitting there giving each other voices and going back and forth and just being ridiculous and, goofing off. That's what I would be doing. So Hannah goes in for her interview with RuPaul and Michelle, and then everything she says to them is, oh yes, oh yeah, wow. Everything's so reverent. Everything's so like, oh yeah, of course, my hopes and dreams. Like, it just, the energy pulls down for me a little bit. She's so like, yeah, wow, of course, yeah. She's so reverent with them that it's like, I don't know. So Spanky goes in for her interview, and RuPaul and Michelle are both like, they like lean forward in their chairs. They're like, oh my God, thank God you're here. So in the interview, Spanky's just chilling. She kind of leaned back. She's like, da-da-da-da-da. And RuPaul and Michelle are like, hi. Like, they're just kind of going back and forth. They're having a good time. And as they're leaving, RuPaul quotes Spanky Jackson's, it's always balmy and palmy. Fuck yeah, to her. So it just seems like there's a different rapport there. It's a different energy in the room, in the interview with Spanky, And on the way out, Spanky takes the whole bowl of Javas. She's that bitch. So the choreographer is revealed to be Madame Electroshock from season 1 of Drag Race Down Under. She says to the girls, how's it feel to be in the finale? I wouldn't know. So that's hilarious. Funny. So she's working them. She's talking about, we have these really strong dancers, and they're like, they need Hannah to keep up once more for Hannah. So they're kind of going over stuff, but it just seems like as they're working, they're all having a really good time. As they're dancing, they're rehearsing and stuff, and Spanky falls down, and they're like, you're only wearing sneakers, girl. You're wearing flats. You're not even wearing heels. How are you gonna keep up? And Spanky's just like, ah. So then as they go into individual dances, watching Spanky and Hannah watch Queen Kong, and they're just like, what the fuck? So funny. That's like such real life when somebody's just killing it and you're like, oh, great, good for you. So as they're painting for the final runway, Hannah's talking about her partner. Hannah brings up her partner, Jack, and she's getting emotional. She reads a letter that her partner had written her. And then Queen reads a letter from her partner, whom she's never mentioned this entire season, has never said anything about the partner, and then doesn't say the partner's name and is covering up the thumb of, like, I don't know if it's just the partner really didn't want to be mentioned like that, or Queen's just kind of a little more private like that, or whatever, but it's just funny, like, the first time that it ever has come up the whole season is now. And I feel like it's because Hannah brought it up. Hannah's like, did you get letters? And Queen Kong is like, I got a bunch of them. It's like, all right, madam. Oh, you got a bunch of them? Oh, good for you. So the cheese stands alone. Spanky talks about, maybe I'm missing something on this relationship or whatever. They're all reading letters from home. They're all crying. Then they have to go paint, okay? So as they're getting ready, again, Hannah says that Queen Kong is the competition. And then Spanky says that Hannah's the competition. She's just so polished and put together. And then Queen Kong says that they're both the competition. So they're like, no, not me. Couldn't be me. It has to be you. No, not you. It has to be me. So just funny. So RuPaul comes out for the runway, and her final look to me is a hit. It's this silver asymmetrical dress, legs for days, comes down. The only thing I might change is that one slight strap on the one side. Maybe that doesn't need that, but she looks great. Got the shorty swoop hair. It's a hit. Michelle's looking great. Reese is looking great. It's the finale. Let's go. So in the finale number, I thought Hannah's lyrics were just okay, but I thought that she was dancing down boots. I thought that she was keeping up, and they were making it seem like she was gonna have all these problems. I thought she was keeping up great with the other girls, and yeah, she was doing great. Then in Spanky's verse, she really has the vocals going on, and she really has that catchy, it's Mother Tugging Spanky. She has that catchiness, and she can really hit those riffs and sing. She has the look and the vibe for me for this song. Queen's verse is really fierce, and she does the barrel roll again, so she's like really, she's in command of the stage and she's doing the dance. I love for the end of her, none of these bitches got shit on me. So whatever she says, none of these bitches got shit on me. So funny. Love the end of that line. My only thought about the finale is, why are these two bitches coming out here dressed in neutrals while Spanky is in this like pow, flash, and like this bright hair? She looks like the Beyonce and they look like the backups. Like, what's going on? Like, how could y'all come out here and not try to act like you wanted to be the one? How come they're in neutrals and she's in pow? I don't get it. So they come out for the final runway, and I didn't remember this from last year, but the rest of the queens don't come out for the finale. They did it last year and they did it this year. That's so weird. Did they just send them back to Australia? I don't get it. Because the queens have been doing their final looks on Instagram, but they didn't have them on the show. It's so weird. Anyway, the gals come out for their final looks. Hannah comes out in this purple, big, puffy gown, and the lapel on it comes around and swoops and frames her head. It's this big, giant, gorgeous, swooping lapel that frames her gorgeously. Her makeup is impeccable. The dress is just mwah. She was talking about kind of like being a fairy princess throughout, and this kind of gives that same vibe. She looks great. That simple thing just coming around the shoulders and framing her face so beautifully, it's just such a simple moment, and it's just such elevated drag that, like, her looks just really always are really polished, and she just looks incredible. Hannah Conda, it's a hit. Bam. So then Queen Kong comes out in like this green with gold embellishments and these feathers around the torso and coming out from the hips to the back. And I wrote down Morticia Adams' dress, because when she's walking, like the bottom of it like stays flat to the ground, and she just like is gliding. It looks like she doesn't even move her feet. But she looks really great. She just looks opulent and giving heritage, giving Islander. It just looks great. It's a hit. It's fantastic. Spanky comes out, hey, in a white gown with an updo. I like to have beautiful down hair, but she comes out with a white gown with the updo, jewels, and just kind of with her fur, just kind of walking the runway. She looks gorgeous. It's a hit. It's very simple, and it's not as even as filled out as my gown is, okay? But she looks great, it's a hit. So for the final lip sync, they all need to lip sync solo to Kylie Minogue's Wow. So right away, Hannah steps out of her dress, and what I thought of her lip sync was that she was having a lot of fun, but maybe she just lacks a little bit of spontaneity. I just felt like it was a little bit like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, she was having fun, but maybe it could use a little more life or a little more dynamics where some things go fast and then some things can come back to slow. Queen Kong ended up eventually stepping out of her gown, but she stepped into biker shorts, which I cannot abide. Biker shorts on the bottom of that dress, I did not buy it and I did not live for it. There's times in Queen Kong's lip sync where she's trying to be jokey, but it comes off as not a joke. Because she's kind of a serious energy, her jokiness comes off as like, are you okay? Like, it seems like it's interrupting her. Spanky's just living up there. She's giving camp, she's giving glamour, she makes the judges laugh, she breaks up what she's doing with different times and intervals. She keeps you kind of guessing, she's just having fun. And she ends up winning it, so she killed it. And Ketamine comes out to crown. Ketamine is wearing this purple and pink metallic angel video game goddess fantasy. She looks great, it's a hit. She crowns Spanky Jackson, who's an awesome winner, kind of bucking the trends. And you know, that's that. You don't need a bazillion dollars to win Drag Race. You just really need to have the charisma, the uniqueness, the nerve, and the talent. So Spanky Jackson, congratulations. The winner of Drag Race Down Under, and shablamo. All right, now we're talking about the promo looks for UK Season 4. I was gonna say versus the world. For RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 4. All right, so coming out first, we have Danny Beard giving a blue feathers look and a blue bodysuit with different color blocking gradients in it. I think that for being named Danny Beard, being a bearded queen, first bearded queen on the show, it's really cool that she like whites out the beard so that you can't really see the beard unless you're really looking for it, because it's just a cool way to play with expectations, because then, you know, later she can have it more filled in or it could be blank or whatever. But she looks great. The body is right. The color blocking is real cute. She calls herself an icon. I love it when people call themselves things. But she says she can act, she can sing, she can dance. I'm looking forward to what she has to bring. It's a hit. Next out the gate is Baby. She has a cutout. She has a bodysuit with these cutouts in it. She has these big old giant sleeves. She has a hair, she has locks stacked up with these crystals coming out of the ends of the locks. It's really cool. She's given no pads. She's given no titties. She says she's a musical theater trained performer, so you don't want to go up against her. You better watch out, but it's a hit. Jomber's Blonde is giving like a 70s style like suit with these feather embellishments and different patches throughout. Says she's been a fashion editor in a magazine. She has one long feather in the cap. Is that a symbolic of feathers in the cap? You know, probably we'll see. She's dropping names here and there of people she's worked with. To me, she's giving maybe a little camp more than fashion. I'm not seeing the fashion. It's like 10 years ago, the way that gay guys dressed 10 years ago is how straight guys dress now. And now gay guys are dressed all schlubby, like gay guys are dressed like straight guys used to dress. Does that make sense? It's giving that energy. The look for me is a pit. So then Cheddar Gorgeous comes out. She is the queen bee. She has the antenna. She has the big, insect-like eyes. She's given an alien. She's given like a hot alien slut. She's doing a really cool thing where she's walking the line of camp and fashion and hitting both marks. She's being sexy, but she's also being weird. So it's cool. She has this, it's a corset, black corset with the ruched yellow skirt. I usually don't like that type of ruching, but the way she has that skirt put together is really cool. It looks really unique to me. She says she's done some telly stuff before. You know, she just invented what became We're Here, it's fine. But she's got the elocution, darling. She could say anything and I would just eat it up. So anyways, it's a hit. She looks great. Just May comes out. She's your premier Ginger Spice impersonator, and she brings her up several times throughout the interview, keeps bringing it back to that same joke. So she knows that she's niche, but she knows what her niche is and what she's sticking to. So I like that. Her outfit is a red dress with the swords on it, which is the flag of her hometown of where she's coming from. It's camp, but it's not a cute dress to me. She references things that she doesn't know, which I live for that. She seems really tongue-in-cheek, but the look is a pit. Then Starlet comes out, this dry-ass cracker, and I just have to say, it's so good that we're finally gonna get the African representation that we've been looking for on Drag Race. She comes out just looking like a painted Barbie or something, just looking nuts in a good way. She's got she's got big gold shoulders, big gold hips, and a bow in the back with leopard tights. She just looks really put together. We'll see if she's fun. You know, I don't know. We'll see. It's a hit. So then Sminty Drop comes out, and I feel cool because I was already following Sminty on Twitter. Sminty Drop comes out in this structured black bodysuit with these like kind of feathers coming up over the top, black gloves, long black boots, and then this like wavy structured hair with the red diamonds in it. She looks great. She says she's from the House of Ken doll, and she looks like a Bratz doll. She looks great. It's a hit. So then Black Peppa comes out, and she is in this gold halter bodysuit with like a blue bustle and train coming down. It's all embellished like treasure, and then she has this big giant pelican gold thing on the head with the blue tail coming down that mirrors her thing on the bottom. She looks great. She looks really rich and extravagant. She's a performer and also a looks queen. She says she has it all. She's the one. It's a hit. Then Pixie Polite comes out. To me, her mug, the way she paints her face, it's as if she took a picture of Lawrence Chaney and sat there and tried to like copy an exact picture of Lawrence Chaney. She looks like Lawrence Chaney, and then she opens her mouth and she's a totally different person, obviously. She's got a bodysuit with the spiked shoulders and then cage pannier hips. Now, to me, it's a little bit plain, and the shoulders and the hips aren't telling me the same story. So for that reason, it's like she's got the big drag hair, but it's just a little bit plain. It's not giving me like a strong viewpoint on, you know, introducing your drag or whatever. To me, it's a pit. Then Dakota Shiffer comes out. She's got half green, half purple, color blocked, like 60s mod girl. She looks like she's trying to be an Austin Powers gal. So she's the first trans girl to be on the UK series, and she probably started drag when she was still a fetus. But to me, this look is really cute and put together. To me, it's not, it looks like regular clothes. It doesn't look like drag. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like drag to me. It's a pit. LaPhil comes out. She has this purple gown. She's the band leader with these big trumpet things and a big trumpet skirt with these gold embellishments on it. She's no eyebrows, so she's giving androgynous. She talks about androgyny. Her big lace-up boots are really cool, and she seems like she's just one of those she's good at everything type of gals. Not a fan of the eyebrows, but the overall look tells me your viewpoint, tells me what you like, tells me da-da-da-da-da. It's a hit. Then Copper Top comes out giving the statue of Neptune. She's got a blue stoned bodysuit with blue fabric draped down. It's a little bit simple for me, but the hair coming up, you know, it literally is the bright copper top. She has orange hair and she's got a Neptune trident, but it's not quite giving me her viewpoint on drag. I don't know, it's a little bit simple. For me, it's a pit. So we're gonna get into episode 1 real quick later. I'm Ebola Cherries. Thanks for joining me with the hits and pits. Remember, the pandemic is not over. Please bring a mask wherever you go. Go get your Omicron booster. And remember, I'm Ebola Cherries, and nobody asked me to do this.